My people, look, cheers to the New Year's, 100 years of wealth, man. Hope all you guys are doing well. Thanks for tapping back in. I know it's been a little bit since I dropped. I have had a lot of things going on, all good things. Recently just hosted a wedding for my sister at my crib. That was a lot of work and effort, but it all felt good and the result was perfect. But besides that, just a bunch of different stuff going on. But I vow to get more consistent, be more consistent with productivity. You got to do that. Anyone out there, understand that only good results will come once you're consistent at something, once you're really pushing forward at something. And always remember some video I watched at Kobe where they talked about as you focus and remain consistent and continue to do stuff, that's where you start to see the little differences, the nuances, and you pick up those additional skills and are actually able to break through just from being mediocre. So you gotta stay on it no matter what it is that you're doing. So look, first thing I'm gonna dive right into that had my brain low-key exploding the other day was ya boy Elon Musk with a firm, strong, aggressive Nazi salute, not one time, but 2 times during some sort of inauguration celebration, right? So I'm not shocked because I didn't think that he had some sort of negative racial views or that he wasn't a blatant racist. I'm not shocked at all. I actually, I have to go back, but I had some idea that he had said some very negative things or disparaging things. From my recollection, it was to the black community or to black people about IQ, something or other. I'm not gonna, drop a quote because I don't remember, but there was things in the past where I'm like, did he say that? Or was that a misquote? Or what did he, when someone says some BS, I'm not like, what did you mean? I know what you meant, right? But my point is that there were things in the past that he has said that led me to believe that he probably had some certain type of racist views, right? I think there was also something where he said, or he made a statement that implied that he supported apartheid. You may know that he's from South Africa, which on its face alone makes it crazy that he has so much power within our American government, right? They are so anti-immigrant, but if you're a rich white immigrant, you can come through, do what you got to do, push policy, push the president, right? And basically push someone to be elected, buy a social media platform, allow all sorts of racist crazy to go down and call it free speech. It's not to say that, someone just saying something racist isn't a version of free speech. The problem is that this isn't like your private home, right? Where you can let people just do whatever. This is a public platform where you make money off of different people using that platform, right? You make money off of black people using that platform. You make money off of Latino, Asian, whatever, using the platform. So to not protect your clients from abuse on your platform, come on, we can always debate whether something is a perspective or hate speech, but that's hard to really debate on a one-on-one basis because as I see when I'm asking people about the whole Nazi salute, I have a lot of people dancing around it, saying that, my response to it, you're having an emotional response to it. And I'm like, people are very shocking to me right now with their response to that. There was and I'll play it in the background, but forgot exactly what channel they were from, but they were out there after he had done that, after he did the Nazi salute, asking people that were celebrating the inauguration how they felt about it. And only one person out of at least the 10 that they showed said anything negative about it. And it was even hard for him to really give a straight answer that that was a bad thing, right? Everyone was like, he didn't mean that. He was touching his heart. And, so it's just really crazy to me how I feel like people will allow certain things to happen and, justify certain things And to me, it's because they've already they've already stood on this path, and they said that I'm standing on this. So no matter what you bring to their attention, they're gonna give you some sort of justification. If you say, hey, he's doing the Nazi salute, they're gonna be like, well, Democrats, were racist before. Biden said something racist in 1947 or 76, right? Like they're gonna do something that diverts from the direct thing. I agree. Biden, let's agree that he said something racist, right? But what did Elon Musk do last night or the other night on stage as the wealthiest man on earth, as the person with the right ear or with the ear to the president? It is unacceptable, right? And the fact that people don't understand the implications of that, understand that that is super problematic in a multicultural society. We already have white nationalist groups marching through places like Ohio. Maybe it wasn't a massive group, but they'll do it in places where they feel comfortable. And then in places where it's, they're unsure, they'll do it in little spats or whatever. But when you have the president's right-hand man doing this, I'm very certain that the president will not come out and condemn this unless he's backed into a corner with the question, right? They have to shape it in a way to get him to respond a certain way. Like, hey, okay, so you didn't hear what Elon Musk said, right? It's going to be something like, I haven't seen the video. I don't know. But it's also because people aren't going to hold him to an account for that. People are going to play the ambiguous game. Oh, how do you know that was that? And now I have to go through a fucking history lesson to tell you why that was clearly a Nazi salute. Now I have to point out the fact that he's been supporting far right-wing extremist groups, or let me take the extremist word out, far right-wing political parties in Germany, right? Where they've already had a massive problem in their country, got burned down because of Nazis in the past. So my point is, it's just crazy to me when someone does something so blatant, people will still dance around it, because the whole time you're trying to point out to people, hey, Donald Trump's a racist. Donald Trump's a racist. He has a racist history. Oh, well, he's just doing that for votes, man. He's just doing that. Like, what? What about, all right, and in 19 whatever, he said this about the Central Park Five, said that they should be hung and shot by a firing squad, or whatever the exact words were. Well, think about it, right? Like, people will figure out any way to justify things. And I'm actually, instead of debating that with a lot of people, I'm actually trying to understand the psychology of it. Is this some sort of is it a personality thing? Is it just like you don't have a hard answer or a real answer, so you divert to being, maybe difficult to go back and forth with on a conversation level? I'm convincible, right? Like, you can convince me of something, but it's going to take actual logic. You got to spell it out to me. It can't just be these blanket generalizations that don't, once I actually try to get a real hard answer, you're just like, oh, I don't care about it. They're all politicians are bad. There is my point of view, right? Because some of my friends and maybe some of my cousins or whatever will have these debates, and when you try to point out blatant things about the Republican Party, their association with racists, their allowance for racist support, no pushback on things like that, when you try to bring that up, they'll bring up, well, the Democrats are racist too. And then you have to end up being the black guy that's defending the Democratic Party as not being racist. And then they'll bring up one policy from 100 years ago, or let's say 30 years ago, that was a negative policy that we could all probably agree had racial implications. And that will be their justification to say both parties are the same when it comes to race, right? It's just how do you win with that? You could have people marching down the streets in Trump hats and Nazi symbols, and they will still try to tell you the party that put forth a black family and a black nominee that ran that for 8 years, that is still probably the most powerful voice and person within that party that looks very diverse when you look at the group compared to when you look at the Republican Party, right? they will try to equate those things. And it's just the craziest thing to me. So what I would say is that we got to stay alert, man. And, I feel like a lot of people don't like to go against the grain, and they've been somewhat convinced that it's rebellious to be on the Republican side, right? Like you're more of like, you don't give a shit. You're just about, making money or whatever the case is, when the reality of it is in my eyes, you're getting fed narratives that don't have full perspectives on it, right? If you hate immigrants coming to America, then you should probably hate America's involvement in Central American wars. You should probably hate America's consumption of drugs that drives drug cartels to become multi-billion-dollar multinational companies, right? And that's not to say that Mexico couldn't possibly do certain things. I just don't know. I'm going off of what I do know. I do know that America has the world's largest flourishing drug market, which I think that most people, or opportunistic, or people in positions that aren't wealthy or don't have other alternatives glaring in front of them and glaring industries around them, they are gonna take hold to things that are accessible and lucrative close to them. It's not an excuse. It's not justifying it. There's a reality to it, right? There's sometimes just a reality to why things happen, right? When you have, war around the world and you have displacement in different places, you're gonna have people migrating to safer spaces, right? It's just simple stuff. Hit a like and a subscribe for that, right? But it's very simple stuff. So my main message is that, or my main thing is that I think that a lot of times Republicans play people with these basic concepts like, yeah, you shouldn't come across the border illegally, without the narratives that lead to these things. I'm not saying that you shouldn't come across the border illegally. I'm just saying that I can't really stand on that principle so hard when I understand why it's happening, right? So anyways, 100 years of wealth, we always stay focused. We always stay in a positive mind state no matter what, because we have to, but we gotta stay alert, and we can't just act like things around us aren't happening. Because before you know it, other laws are being passed. They're trying to encroach on different things, and they say these things, and people just don't want to believe them, right? Now they're going after the birthright citizenship. Like, you could be born here, but if your parents are illegal, he's trying to pass with an executive order, basically a constitutional amendment that says you are not an actual citizen, right? That could be just the start of that. They could start downgrading citizenships, and for people that maybe one of your parents is born here or whatever the case is, right? And it's not like they don't already have levels of citizenship, right? So there's a lot to go into on that, but once again, 100 years of wealth. Thanks for tapping in. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of the Nazi salute, or did you see something else? Please tell me. Please educate your boy. But besides that, stay safe. 100 years of wealth. Let's go. 2025. Peace.